This is me, 15 years ago, just a clueless kid with no direction. Fast forward to today, and I'm a professional athlete, coach, and business owner. So how did I go from a lost teenager to where I am now? A lot of people assume I did gymnastics as a kid. That gave me a head start in training. The truth is, skateboarding was my passion growing up. Although not relevant to what I do today, skateboarding taught me a valuable lesson. Practice makes perfect. In 2011, despite skateboarding being my passion, I quit. I got a lot of injuries and decided to stop actively skateboarding. I took a gap year after high school and ended up excessively partying, never training. I ate whatever I wanted, and I lived a life that made me feel like shit. During high school, I had previously tried going to the gym a few times, but it wasn't particularly motivating. One day, however, I randomly stumbled upon a YouTube video of people doing stuff like planches, human flags, and handstand push-ups. That was it. The moment everything clicked. Instantly hooked, I immediately dove headfirst into research, scouring online forums like Gymnastics Buddies, and soaking up inspiration from YouTube legends like Frank Medrano, Daniel Vadnal, also known as Fitness FAQ. I even followed Simon Ada, better known as SciMonster, which would become one of my biggest inspirations. Little did I know that more than a decade later, I'd have the chance to coach alongside some of these legends. I don't have much footage from my first years of training, partly because I felt insecure recording myself. But here's a rare clip of me attempting a bent arm planche in 2012. This was also the year I began my studies in environmental engineering. One of my first big goals was to master a handstand push-up, which is actually what sparked my love for handstands in the first place. 2013 turned out to be a huge year of milestones. I achieved my first muscle up, my first back lever, and my first human flag. I also kept grinding away at the elusive planche, inching closer with each training session. My progress continued forward in 2014 when I did my first 90-degree handstand push-up and made my first semi-decent attempts at the straddle planche after 3 years of training. My handstands continued to evolve, but this year marked something new: creativity. I began experimenting with acrobatics, and at the same time I stayed committed to the basics. That hard work paid off when I entered my first national street workout competition and secured 5th place. 2015 was a big year. I competed again at the national championships and took 3rd place. I also pulled off my first one-arm pull-up, which felt like a huge win strength-wise. It wasn't just about getting stronger though. I started exploring my own style, adding creativity to my movements. I also began training for the one-arm handstand, a challenge that would test my patience for years to come. This was also the year I started coaching, formed a calisthenics group, and launched an Instagram page to connect with like-minded people. In 2016, I kept refining my style and pushing my limits. I won the Street Workout World Cup stage in Hong Kong and made it to the super finals in Beijing. A surreal experience. At the time, I was living in Shanghai, China, as an exchange student in my 4th year of university, juggling my studies, training, competing in the world stage, and growing my Instagram. 2017 was about steady progress. Some skills came slower than others, but after 2 years, I hit my first one-arm handstand holds, a huge milestone for me. I continued experimenting with my movement style, blending creativity with strength. Meanwhile, my Instagram account began gaining traction as I shared more of my journey. In 2018, I started feeling burnt out from competing, so I decided to make it my last year of competing. From then on, my focus shifted to training for the skills I truly enjoyed and developing my personal style. I kept making progress in my strength, but some skills, like the planche and front lever, remained a struggle. That didn't bother me too much though. I was having a blast learning new moves. This was also the year I started hitting solid one-arm handstand holds and exploring more advanced shapes like the one-arm flag and other creative variations. Outside of training, 2018 was a huge year for my academic and personal life as well. I completed my master thesis, started a PhD in electrical power engineering, and met the love of my life, Sunniva. Pushing strength has always been my strong suit. Probably because I genuinely enjoy it, and it seems to be what my body responds to best. In 2019, I began working towards an ambitious goal: achieving the one-arm handstand push-up. As far as I know, it's never been done before. So I'm aiming to be the first. Chasing this impossible goal has been an incredible way to push my limits and keep building strength without turning to weight training. If I will ever be able to pull it off, I guess time will show. 2020 was a wild year. My Instagram account started going viral, and with 5 years of experience coaching hundreds of students in calisthenics, I decided to take things online. I launched my online coaching platform and began creating videos for my YouTube channel. My one-arm handstand also saw significant improvements, which was a huge personal milestone. On top of that, I started experimenting with more intricate and creative ways to program for my strength training, keeping things fresh and challenging.
Yes! Yes!
10 years of training, equivalent to 13% of the average human life. I finally saw my full planche and front lever. Not only that, but also my first 2 consecutive one-arm pull-ups. My Instagram continued to grow steadily, and I launched my own personal training app. The goal? To teach others how to build bodyweight strength, master calisthenic skills, and perfect their handstands. Through it all, I stayed true to what I love. 2022, I decided to go all in to see if I could turn my passion into a full-time living. That year gave me the chance to travel, meet, and even coach alongside athletes I had admired for years. I kept developing my training app and helped hundreds of people achieve their goals. With more time on my hands, I was able to create more content, and my growth on YouTube and Instagram exploded, opening up even more opportunities than before. Toward the end of 2022, Sunniva and I decided to take on a completely new challenge together. We wanted to create something different, a fitness brand that truly aligned with our values. That's how Movement Made was born, a collection of minimalistic, multifunctional and natural training equipment and activewear. It was everything we believed fitness gear should be. 2023 turned out to be the craziest year of my life. I suddenly found myself traveling the world for our new brand, from visiting factories and suppliers to sourcing materials and meeting manufacturers. I was determined to ensure we only partnered with trustworthy, ethical people. I partnered with a robotic warehouse in Germany, did parkour with Jason Paul, and oversaw the creation of rope from ocean-collected plastics in Switzerland, all while trying Ninja Warrior and highlining with Samuel Volvery, a highline pioneer. In Romania, I befriended our sustainable wood manufacturing partners and explored the beautiful countryside. In Sri Lanka, I learned how natural rubber can be sustainably sourced and partnered with a factory to create the most durable rubber bands possible. India was a complete eye-opener. I discovered the environmental and human toll of synthetic dyeing in the fashion industry and found solutions through natural plant dyes and sustainable textiles. While there, I also had the chance to explore the ancient art of Malakand, a painful experience. By the end of the year, our product line became a reality. The minimalist gym rings, natural rubber bands, the multi-strap, and the fat bar parallels. The activewear line, however, would require another year of development. And then came the biggest surprise of all. Sunniva and I found out we were about to become parents. On November 25th, 2023, Nori was born, changing our lives forever.
Banana handstand!
Juggling fatherhood, being an athlete, and running a business defined 2024. My main goal was to maintain my strength, continue developing our family business, and, most importantly, be as present as possible. This year, I focused on helping even more people learn and grow in their training by creating more educational content and refining the Berg Movement app. I stayed true to what I love, playing with movement, exploring handstands, and finding new ways to have fun while getting stronger. On the business side, I met with inspiring people to expand the Movement Made team, and our natural activewear line was finally completed. I also tackled a personal project, writing a book about handstands. What started out as a straightforward idea turned into be a much bigger challenge than expected. But the result? A book I'm truly proud of, currently being translated into English to be able to help as many people as possible learn this amazing skill. As we're jumping into 2025, I'm looking back at the past 15 years, from being a lost teenager to becoming a professional athlete, a coach, a business owner, and a father. It's certainly been a wild ride full of lessons and growth. I want to keep developing as an athlete and as a coach, and I want to help as many of you guys as possible. Whether you don't know how to get started, you've never trained before, you're struggling to stay consistent, or you feel like you just don't have enough time to practice. I've dealt with all of it and learned how to move forward. That's why I built my comprehensive training app in the first place, so I can guide you through it step by step. Whatever your level, whatever your goals, there is something in it for you. So if you're struggling financially speaking, you can also apply for a discount or even a scholarship based on where in the world you're situated or your life situation. And while you don't need equipment to get started or to train in the first place, it might make your journey slightly easier and straightforward. So if you're looking for premium and sustainable training equipment or activewear, be sure to check out my newly launched brand, Movement Made. So no matter where you're starting, trust the process, stay consistent, and don't quit, because you only fail when you give up. So stay tuned, hit subscribe, and get ready, because this is only the beginning.